Another front in the ongoing battle between the top players and the majors for a greater chunk of revenues in prize money. We are told that today, a meeting was scheduled between representatives of the top players, Larry Scott, and representatives from the USTA, the U.S. Open, trying to get ahead of the 2026 U.S. Open. My sources tell me that the U.S. Open is up for and would negotiate a prize money increase. It was 20% at Wimbledon, so that's probably around the benchmark. The U.S. Open would be interested and up for some sort of pension contributions. The U.S. Open is not in for an up to a revenue split, which the players are asking for. So we'll see how this play out. We'll see if the players will, for the third straight major, protest, maybe have a media protest the way they did at the French Open and the first day here. This is a very much a fluid issue. We'll see how this plays out in the next few weeks.
John, thanks for all of that. Craig Tiley has long been known as a player-friendly tennis executive. He's just about to take over at the USTA. This prize money thing, Jim, is going to be the first thing he has to navigate. How do you see him doing it?
Well, one thing that has always been true is the USTA waits until Wimbledon announces their prize money, and then right after Wimbledon, they announce their prize money. And it has always been the highest prize money of the year of the majors. That will most certainly continue. But Craig has built up a lot of goodwill with the players, and that, I think, will help those conversations because they know that Craig is a player-first guy. They know that Craig actually will be one of those guys who goes to his board and says, we need to do more for the players. The board might say, no, hey, we've got $1 billion investment in new facilities. We can't afford to do it now. But I think the players will take some comfort, at least, that Craig is the one that they're talking to at the front face.
As we know, when labor and management are at an impasse, the two things that ultimately move the needle at the end of the day are either a strike or a lockout on one side or the other.
Or tickets.
Or, well, yeah. Don't take their free tickets away, as we learned. Could you see either of those things realistically happening in tennis?
I just can't. I just can't. The stakes are way too high for the players, and it's really a small pocket of players that can afford to not play for a little while. There are so many players out there who just desperately need the giant revenue that they get from the slams. A lot of the lower players actually make the majority of their revenue from the slams. So I don't foresee it happening. Anything can, of course, happen. But as Jim said, when you fold into a small little check raise, that's not a good sign.
I think we need realistic transparency from everybody so that people know exactly what the tournaments are making, where the money's going. To say we're investing in the future, yeah, but what about now? I mean, it's kind of the same argument that the All England Club is making here. But the fact of the matter is the money is so much bigger than it used to be, and everybody loses if there's a boycott, so they really need to figure it out.
I'm not going to speak for Wimbledon or for the French Open, but I know there is transparency in the Australian Open finances and the U.S. Open finances. It's on delay, but when their tax forms come out, they're made public, and you can purse them, and John Wertheim does, and he prints the information out for the public to see. So we know exactly about a year later what the net profit of the USTA is. Now, what their investments are, that's going to be their argument is, hey, we're investing in not just in our facilities, we're also investing in the lower tournaments in America. We're paying the prize money for the futures and challengers. So they're going to have their argument. But again, if the players are going to fold because they don't get free tickets for their family,
not a good look.
I think that gives a little more leverage to the majors than they might have thought they had.
The three magic words that the players really, really want: percentage of revenue, and the tournaments, the slams, do not seem willing to budge on that front.